What's going on, guys? Welcome to my round one review. Obviously, I did some predictions for how I thought the games would go for round one, and this is essentially going to be me reacting to those predictions, which, if anyone saw that predictions video knows, I got like 2 correct. It was not a good first round one for me. But, yeah, look, goal kicking video should be out tomorrow. All right, I'll give a little sample of it now. But yeah, goal kicking video should be out tomorrow. But without any further ado, let's jump into this round one review. Manly 36, Rabbitohs 24. So I think in my predictions, I said Manly would win, but I said it would be 26-18. So look, not too bad, pretty close guess. But honestly, based off the actual game itself, Manly could have scored 50. I'm looking over here just because I've got the settings over here, so sorry about that. But yeah, look, Manly easily could have scored 50. I'll quickly bring up the stats for you here. Look, Manly dominated them. 6 tries to 5. Latrell missed pretty much all his conversions, so that certainly didn't help Rabbitohs. But if we go to the stats, honestly, on paper, really, really even game. All right? Extremely even game, but I'm pretty sure in my predictions, I just said that I thought the experience of Cherry Evans would sort of just help Manly coast through to the end. And look, I would say that's what happened. I think the moment got to a couple of the Rabbitohs players, especially Latrell. I feel like he had a really off game for his standards. Look, I really don't think he played well. Yeah, look, honestly, I think it was just a case of if Manly were really on their form at the moment, they easily could have scored 50. Like, I think, look, Luke Brooks had a try disallowed. Was it Turbo that had one disallowed, or was it his brother? I think one of them had another one disallowed. That they dropped the ball over the line once or twice. Like I said, Manly could have very easily scored 50 in this game, and that could have completely changed the whole shape of how this game looked. I think because they had a couple of tries disallowed, that sort of let the Rabbitohs wean themselves back into the game a bit more. But yeah, look, this was a pretty routine Sea Eagles win for round one. Pretty easy stuff for them. Obviously looked really strong. Maybe it's just me. I was talking to my dad about it. So my dad's a Manly fan. I was talking to him about it. Turbo looks as strong as I've ever seen. Like, he looks like he's put on a lot of muscle and really strengthened himself. So, look, if that's the Turbo we're going to be getting for this season, then the competition better watch out, because he can be an absolute menace, as we're all aware. So, yeah, routine Manly win round one. Obviously got my prediction right, but got the scoreline wrong. But yeah, look, happy to get at least one right, because I get pretty much the rest of them wrong from here. Roosters 20, Broncos 10. All right. Like I said in my prediction video, I thought this would be one of the games of the round, and I think it was. Look, obviously a lot of controversy coming out of this game with the Spencer Leniu stuff, but there's been a lot of details that apparently one of the Broncos players said something to him first, which led to that. That's a story for another day. Purely on the game, I think it was a fantastic game, but Broncos honestly just beat themselves, right? I think here, let me get the stats up for you here. Look, hopefully it's working for you, I think. But yeah, look, very even game across the board, like possession-wise, very even, attacking, very even, run meters very close, post-contact meters very close, everything really close. Where there was the issue is right here in the negative play. Right? Broncos with 15 errors, right? And it's not like they didn't have chances. Like, they got a lot of penalties their way. 7 penalties went their way, inside the 10 stuff. Right? So, it's not like they didn't have, good ball in good places. It's just genuinely those errors absolutely ruined them. I think Walsh had a really off game. I think the moment and being over in the US got to him. Maybe he went out the night before and had a big night and wasn't fully up for it. I don't know. Joking, of course. But yeah, look, I think it was genuinely just a case of Broncos shot themselves in the foot. There were a few opportunities where they could have scored, but they fumbled the bag. They knocked it on, threw a forward pass, what have you, threw a couple of intercepts. That try assist from Joey Manu, incredible, like that flick pass out the back. I'll be honest, on initial view, I thought it was a forward, but watching it back, I think it does go back, I think. But yeah, what a flick pass. Joey Manu is one of the best centers in the game. He's a freak. He's an absolute freak. But yeah, look, honestly, the only thing for me that really decided this game was the Broncos' errors. Right? Across the board, even game, like you can see, like I showed before, possession really close, only 2%. That's nothing. That's like, what, 2 or 3 extra sets, So, look, really good game. Hopefully the whole Spencer Leniu deal gets sorted with, and everything goes back to how it should be. Because, look, don't get me wrong, obviously what he said is not on, shouldn't have said it. But at the same time, if it is true that one of the Broncos players has said something, and they're just keeping their mouths shut and acting like they did nothing, then that's just as bad, in my opinion. Right? Like, if Spencer Leniu has to cop flames for saying something, then whoever said something to him first should be copping something as well. Right? That's just my opinion on that. But yeah, look, really strong game. Roosters just beat him out in the end because they were able to maintain the ball a little bit better than the Broncos did. So yeah, obviously got this prediction wrong. I thought Broncos would win. I think I said 20-16. Let me quickly look it up. Yeah, I said 20-16. So look, not too far off. Broncos, butchered a few chances. Obviously, Roosters scored a little bit more points than I thought they would. But look, honestly, I'm not incredibly upset with this prediction because it was genuinely a game that could have gone either way. But yeah, good game overall. Was a really good game for round 1. Knights 12, Raiders 28. All right, now in my prediction, I essentially had this flipped. I thought Knights would win 28-14, so pretty much flipped. Look, Knights were just off the pace. Not off the pace in the sense of their actual playing, but off the pace as, look, similar to the Broncos in the last game. Completion rate, errors. Let me get up the stats for you just here. Look, when you have a completion rate that low, it's going to be very difficult for you to win games, right? If we quickly scroll down, like even if you just look at the attacking stats here, Raiders had 30 more runs than the Knights, but only made 30 more meters, right? So that's a meter a run extra, right? Oh, sorry if you just heard that noise. That was just a video finishing editing. Yeah, look, just obviously offloads and second phase play was really good for the Raiders, really strong for them. As I mentioned in the video, that both teams had a really strong forward pack. Raiders still have a strong forward pack, so that was good for them. But yeah, look, I think it was errors-wise. I think Knights had 15 errors again to 7. Right. So look, again with the Broncos, when you have that many errors, it's very difficult to win a game of football. It's as simple as that. Because if you look at the kicks right here, it's almost double kick meters, right? So Raiders were able to pin Knights down in their end. Knights would make an error. Raiders get ball, good ball in an attacking set, right? Look, as I mentioned in my preview, I still don't think the Raiders are going to be super strong this year. I don't think they're going to make the top 8. I don't think they'll come last by any means, but I think this game's honestly just sort of a blip on the radar for the Knights. I think Knights are still going to have a really strong year once they really click. But yeah, look, I guess in the end a pretty routine win for the Raiders because look, when you've got that much ball in good field position, eventually the other team is going to crack. So pretty routine win for the Raiders because the Knights just couldn't keep hold of the ball, honestly. So again, another prediction wrong. Flip the scores, I would have had it right, but obviously that's not what happened. Yeah, routine win for the Raiders in this one. Warriors 12, Sharks 16. Alright, I'll be completely honest, I did not see this game. I've only watched the extended highlights, and based off the highlights, it genuinely just looks like Sharks are more clinical than the Warriors. Having a quick look through the stats, honestly, across the board in the stats, it looks like Warriors should have won this game. Alright, but, here, actually, I'll quickly get the stats up for you. I'm just sort of scribbling through it myself. Yeah, I'll quickly get the stats up for you guys. But yeah, just having a quick look through the stats, very equal completion rate. They had more sets, completed 7 more sets. More run meters, more runs, more offloads, better kicking game, less tackles, less missed tackles, less ineffective tackles, less errors, same penalties conceded, whatever. Alright, just by the looks of it, all intents and purposes, it looks like Warriors should have won this game, and it looks like they just weren't clinical enough. That can be my only guess, because, again, I've only watched the extended highlights, which just shows a few little extra things here and there apart from the tries. So it doesn't really show how the flow of the game went. Oh, excuse me, sorry. Yeah, so I can only assume that the Warriors just were not clinical enough. So look, obviously I've got this prediction wrong again. I said Warriors would win 22-18. So look, again, another wrong prediction, but again, it was another one of those games where it genuinely could have gone either way. I believe I said in my prediction video that the only reason I was tipping Warriors is because I thought Nico Hines wasn't playing. I thought he was still injured, but Nico did play. So look, I don't know. If I knew Nico was playing at the time, honestly, I don't think I would have changed my tip anyway, just because it's the Warriors at home. But I did think like it would still be a close game, which it was. Obviously, Warriors were just not as clinical as the Sharks when they needed to be. So obviously, Sharks get the win there. And another tip wrong for me. All right, on to the next one. Storm 8, Panthers 0. Look, again, another one I got wrong. I thought Panthers would win this one 24-16. Honestly, it could have been a much more high-scoring game. I think both teams had like 2 or 3 tries disallowed each. Look, if you're going off stats, let me get the stats up again. If you're going off stats, look, very even game across the board. Completion rate for both teams, honestly, not great. So, very sloppy game. I'll be honest, I only watched the second half because I was at footy training, so I could only get home to watch the second half. So I didn't see the first half, so I can't speak about that. But the second half, sloppy. That's the easiest way you can describe it. Both teams' defenses were fantastic, but both teams' attack were also not great. So very sloppy. But look, all intensive purposes, if you want to go off stats, Penrith probably should have won. Just like, again, based off stats, like, just like, you can't have 23 offloads and all of that second phase play and not score any points. All right, it's as simple as that. Look, see, there you go, right there. Errors between the two of them, essentially 30 errors between the two teams, right? So, look, yeah, just a game of errors, right? As I mentioned, both teams had some tries disallowed. I think the big one and the big talking point was the Sonny Luke try. Look, by letter of the law, yes, it's an obstruction. But I think there needs to be some level of common sense, right? So, for anyone that hasn't seen the try, I'll probably be showing a clip of it now. Hopefully I don't get flagged for it or anything like that. But, look, who is it? I can't remember who the left second rower is. I can't think who it is. But left second rower's run his block line on the outside shoulder of Jerome Hughes. Hughes has raced up really early and been beat by Luai. Alright, so Hughes has raced up, been beat, all ends up by Luai. But then because whoever that second rower was has run his line, Luai's run behind him. Now look, by the letter of the law, it is an obstruction. But in terms of common sense, no one in that play was obstructed. No one was interfered with. In my opinion, it should have been a try. Now look, I understand that we want a game where the rules are black and white, but at the end of the day, in rugby league, it's just not how it works. It's not like an NFL or a soccer where you can have it just simple black and white, right? Because the way that rugby league is played, the way that the game flows, the way that the game moves, you just can't have that black and white ruling. So, look, I think Panthers were hard done by with that one. Again, by the letter of the law, it's a no try, but I think some common sense needs to come into play, and it should have been awarded as a try. If that try is awarded, who knows? Penrith could have gone on to win the game, like 6-2 at that point. It would have been, right? So Penrith could have gone on to win the game. Obviously, wasn't awarded, and Storm were able to hold them out to a 0, which is incredible for the Storm, right? A big statement from Melbourne Storm. Obviously, Penrith, like I said, had a couple tries disallowed, but so did Storm. So, yeah, big statement from the Storm to keep Penrith to 0. Really staking their claim early to say, like, we are a team that is here to be making finals, right? So, look, good game, at the very least in the second half. I thought it was a good game. Again, errors sort of plagued it, but yeah. That Sonny Luke try for me is the big talking point of the game, and I think there needs to be a internal discussion within the NRL about black and white rules versus common sense. But yeah, otherwise, look, again, wrong prediction from me. I thought Penrith would win. But, what can you do? Eels 26, Bulldogs 8. Now, I know my team, don't I? I actually predicted this score, Eels 28, Bulldogs 10. So, look, 2 points off from each side. Look, I got to go to this game. I was at the game. I got to watch it live. And watching it live, Dogs just look terrible. Look, don't get me wrong. So, Para didn't look great either. Para had... I don't think it's going to have it in the stats here. Let me bring up stats for you. Look, obviously, you can tell possession stats. All these sort of stats are completely in Para's way, which is exactly how the game went. I think, Dogs had 13 errors, right? But the big thing for me from a Para standpoint is... I don't think it says it in here, but Para had 50 tackles in the Bulldogs' 20-meter. 50! And only managed to score, 4 tries? 4 tries? Yeah, only managed to score 4 tries. So, that's either a case of the Eels' attack being way off or the Dogs' defense being extremely strong. Now, look, I don't know how well you could tell watching live, but Moses hurt his groin, so he couldn't really run that much. Gutho also suffered a bit of an injury, I think like a knee injury or something. He was limping around a little bit as well in the final maybe 30, 40 minutes. So, look, obviously 2 of their key attacking playmakers were out. Well, not out, but couldn't influence the game as strongly as they probably would have liked to. But even regardless of that, if you are having 50 tackles on an opposition's defensive line, you should be putting up a lot more points than... you should be scoring a lot more tries than just 4. Right? So, look, as a Bulldogs fan, I am happy about that we only conceded 4 tries despite having so little ball, right? And having to defend our line for so long. We were obviously going to crack eventually, so, it's going to happen. I expected that. But yeah, to defend 50 tackles on your line and only concede 4 tries is really good. So, look, defensively, even though we conceded 26 points, as a Dogs fan, I'm not terribly upset with it. Let's put it that way. Obviously, it could have been better, but, if you take all the circumstances into it, it's honestly not too bad. Not as bad as you might think. All right, now, when it comes to the Bulldogs' attack, right, this is a video I think I might make at a later date, but the only thing I'm going to say is our only 2 tries, right? Our only 2 tries. Obviously, Burton missed both conversions. That doesn't matter. It wouldn't have made a difference anyway. But our only 2 tries came when Burton wasn't involved, right? So you got to think. So Blake Wilson, he's on the right-hand side. So that was all off Drew Hutchinson. Off Drew Hutchinson's edge. So Burton's not involved in that at all. And then our try down the left to Crichton was again off Hutchinson, right? Instead of Burton being that playmaker where they run the block off Burton, Burton was the one sweeping. So Hutchinson hit the front man, which was Kickoff. Kickoff was able to get his arm free and pop that ball to Crichton, who scored. Now, look, this is a topic I'm going to probably discuss in a video I've been thinking of making, but I don't know. I'll decide if I make it later. But basically, the whole concept of the video would be, is Burton a 5'8"? Because I even said this during the predictions video. In our trial against Storm, we were struggling to score points, but then as soon as Burton went off, we scored 3 tries down our left edge. Right? So, maybe internally at the Bulldogs, there needs to be a discussion. Maybe at NRL level, Burton is a centre and not a 5'8". That is a discussion that may need to be had at some point because, our left-hand edge, when you look at our left-hand edge, we have grand final winners, origin players, national, Australian internationals, Fijian internationals, Samoan internationals. Our left edge on paper is one of the strongest in the NRL on paper. Take Burton out of it. You've got Kickoff, Crichton, and Addo-Carr. Addo-Carr's won, 2 grand finals, Kickoff 2, Crichton 3. That is a lot of talent and a lot of experience on that left edge. But it's just not amounting to anything. Right? And then so what's the common denominator? For me, it's Matt Burton. Right? So look, that might be a video I make a different day where I have a discussion about that. But yeah, look, Dogs attack not good enough. That's sort of been the that's been the story for the Dogs for the past 3-4 years. But yeah, look, obviously I got this prediction right. So me and my mate, he's an Eel supporter. I'm obviously a Dog supporter. We went to the game. It got to the point where both of us, in the final 10 minutes or so, we were both just sort of praying for a penalty goal for each side so I could get my prediction right. But yeah, look, routine Eels win. If I'm an Eels fan, I wouldn't be super ecstatic about it because, again, 50 tackles in the attacking 20, you should be scoring more than just 4 tries. But, I mean, look, Eels obviously had some injuries, but, you know, they can really grow from there. But yeah, routine win for the Eels in that one, unfortunately, as a Doggies fan. Titans 4, Dragons 28. All right. Another one I got completely wrong. Essentially, flip the scores, and you would have had my prediction of Titans 26 to Dragons 8. All right. Look, I got this one completely wrong. It's as simple as that. Look, obviously, Titans were missing a few very important players for them. Obviously, Campbell's out, Foran was out, Fafita was out. All right. Those 3 alone are huge losses for them. So just their halves in their spine. I think Joey Johns talked about it on his post game thing, whereas like just the Titans' spine just looked completely off the pace, completely disorganized, completely all over the shop, and that's because Foran and Campbell were there. It's as simple as that. So look, Titans were pretty much doomed from the start without those 3. I'll be honest, I didn't know those 3 weren't playing. I assumed they had their. I thought the Titans had their full squad ready to go for the first round. So that's on me for not realising that. But, yeah, look, can't take anything away from the Dragons. They absolutely killed it under Flanagan. He had them absolutely firing. So, yeah, can't take anything away from the Dragons. Ben Hunt was just on another level. He absolutely killed it. Terrell Sloan looked like the player that everyone's been expecting him to be. Lomax on the wing, I think, is really good. Their forward pack looked really strong. Kyle looked strong at 6. You know, just gives him a little bit less responsibility so he can relax on the ball a little bit more. So I think that's really good for him. Yeah, look, this was honestly just a routine win for the Dragons. I'll get up the stats. Where are they? The team stats. Honestly, on paper, relatively even game. You know, like Dragons had a bit more run meters, bit more post contact, more line breaks. But honestly, not by much. It was the second phase play that really caught out the Titans, I think. Because, yeah, kicking game, Titans won. I think errors were pretty even, 10 to 14, so you can't really blame Titans having more errors or anything like that. I genuinely think it was just Dragons were prepared and Titans weren't. It's honestly just as simple as that, which is the exact opposite of what I thought. I thought Des would have the Titans absolutely firing for this game, and he didn't. It's as simple as that. I don't know if maybe the players he's got just doesn't suit what he wants to do, or if it was purely because like Fafita, Campbell, and Foran were out, that he just didn't have that organisation in the spine of his team. But yeah, look, Titans were just completely off the pace while Dragons were on flames. Simple as that. So, you know, really good win for the Dragons. Do I think the Dragons are a top 8 side after this game? No. Look, I think that they can definitely be a team that sits in that maybe 10 to 12. But I don't think by the end of the year they'll be pushing for a top 8 spot. I think at some point they might hit a wall and sort of deviate off a little bit. But yeah, look, round 1 they played really well. Another prediction I got wrong, so yay for me. Dolphins 18, Cowboys 43. All right, finally another prediction I got right. I just got scoreline wrong. Completely wrong. I thought it would be a little bit of a closer game than it was. I had Dolphins at 12 and Cowboys at 28. But Cowboys just came out of the gates firing. It's as simple as that. Zach Labert, or Labert, however you pronounce it, he absolutely killed it. Look, funnily enough, so someone I used to work with, Labert is actually their cousin. So really awesome to see him doing well. It's good for them and their family. So awesome to see that. But yeah, he absolutely killed it. He looks like he's going to be a quality player for the long term. I think he's actually a fullback, if I remember right. But I mean, look, after round 1, I think he might have found a home in the centres already. he just absolutely killed it. Look, I think the main thing really that separated these two teams, I'll get the stats up. But yeah, I think the main thing really that separated these two teams is the spine. It's as simple as that. Dolphins' spine just isn't strong enough. It's as simple as that. Like, if you go through the stats, like 500 more run meters to essentially like 50 more runs, right? More post contact. Like, all the stats point to a Cowboys win, which makes sense when they win by 25 points. So, they're always going to have better stats. But yeah, like errors pretty equal, penalties conceded, ruck infringement, nothing like that. Yeah, I think it was genuinely just a case of Cowboys have a stronger spine. So obviously Cowboys have Tom Dearden, Townsend, who's their fullback? Drinkwater, and Reece Robson in hooker. Like in my opinion, that's a very easy top 8 spine, possibly even pushing into the top 4. So look, just those guys controlling the game, whereas Dolphins only have Sean O'Sullivan, Jerry Marshall King, I think it's Katoa, and the Hammer. Look, don't get me wrong, not a bad spine, but just nowhere near the experience and the professionalism that the Cowboys have had, and I think that was the main thing. Once Cowboys sort of took that early lead, I think Cowboys scored 2 or 3 tries or something like that. Yeah, 2 or 3 tries pretty early on. Once they sort of took that lead, I just think it was very hard for the Dolphins to sort of push themselves back into the game, because the spine doesn't have the experience on how to take a losing situation like that, break it down, and grind their way back into a game. I think it's as simple as that. Look, second half, they only conceded 12 points. So, the ability is there for the Dolphins, but I just think that conceding early on that many points, it just sort of stunned them a bit and they couldn't recover. So, yeah, look, pretty routine win for the Cowboys, sort of like I expected. Right? I think most people expect the Cowboys to win that game. But yeah, routine win for the Cowboys. Definitely a top 8 contender this year, in my opinion. They had a blip last year, but I think they'll be back up fighting for that top 8 this year. Dolphins will still probably be sitting around that maybe 12 to 14 range, I think. I don't think they're good enough for the top 8 just yet. Maybe in a couple of years' time, but who knows. But yeah, overall pretty convincing win from the Cowboys, obviously, against a not too strong Dolphins side. Yeah. But yeah, look, that wraps up my my round 1 review. I only got 3 correct, I think. Yeah, Manly, Manly, Eels, Cowboys. It's only 3 I got right. So not looking good for me. So anyone that was planning on using my prediction videos as tips or anything like that, don't do it. But yeah, look, that'll be the end of the video. I'll probably do another predictions video on Wednesday or Thursday for the next round. Goal King video should be up. Actually, I think there will be a Goal King video up. So I'm recording this on Monday. I should have a Goal King video up today on the Monday, and then this video will be coming out Tuesday, so tomorrow for me. So it should be a Goal King video out already. So if you haven't seen that, definitely go check it out. Trying out a new tee, the Crown. So definitely go check that out. I think it was good fun. But yeah, until the next face-to-face stuff, guys, have a good one. And yeah, take it easy.